Walk onto any golf course, and you will see players spending thousands of dollars on equipment and dedicating entire weekends to the game, only to shoot the exact same scores they did 5 years ago. The investment is massive, but the handicap never moves. It is easy to blame a lack of flexibility or athletic talent, but the real barrier is entirely mental. Most golfers operate on deeply rooted, heavily repeated assumptions about how the golf swing and equipment actually work, assumptions that are rarely ever tested. This is exactly what a 3-handicap player named Fabrizio Mazzoni noticed after years of watching high-handicap players struggle. He realized they fail because they play a game built entirely on illusions. Real improvement requires giving up the comfortable lies we tell ourselves. It demands trading the safety of our ego for objective, mathematical realities on the course. To see exactly how this works, we will audit 3 core areas of your game: equipment, practice, and course management, to expose the specific fictions that are keeping you stuck. We start in the pro shop. Golf is a heavily regulated sport, but when players buy new clubs, they usually base their decisions on ego-driven labels rather than actual physics. Look at this chart comparing 2 shafts. Both are stamped stiff, yet their bending profiles, how they load and release energy, are completely different. There is no universal standard for shaft flex. The label is just a marketing tool. Weight is the variable that actually dictates your physical rhythm. A change of just 15 grams shifts your sense of where the club head is during the swing, forcing your nervous system to adjust your timing and release pattern regardless of the flex letter on the side. This disconnect between labels and reality also extends to the grip, which disrupts the kinetic chain, the sequence of how your body generates and transfers power from the ground up. This table shows ball-to-implement ratios across sports. Golf sits in a strange middle ground, adopting thin grips from precision sports like tennis. But golf swings generate power through hip rotation, like baseball. Thin grips encourage independent wrist manipulation, breaking the kinetic chain and killing consistency. Golfers continue to use these thin grips because they feel like they offer more control. In reality, buying equipment to satisfy that image of control actively sabotages the body's natural power generation. Next, look at the driving range. A player hits a 7-iron, aims at the same target, and repeats the same swing 50 times. This isn't practice. Without clear feedback and constraints, repetition simply automates your existing flaws. To actually learn, you have to break that comfortable cycle. Mazzoni advocates for a method called the power of extremes. Instead of trying to hit the ball straight, you intentionally attempt to hit a wildly exaggerated hook, followed immediately by an exaggerated slice. You push the system to its absolute limits to force clear, undeniable feedback. This extreme variation forces your brain to build a precise neurological map of your swing. You start to physically feel exactly what closes the club face and what shifts your swing path, moving you from guessing what went wrong to knowing exactly how to control it. Amateurs often break this feedback loop by constantly switching the type of golf ball they use. Every ball has a different compression and spin rate. Changing the ball introduces random variables that disrupt the brain's ability to link a specific physical feel to a predictable outcome. Amateurs assume that using a consistent single ball model is a luxury reserved for professionals. The truth is, disciplined consistency is the specific tool you use to become a good player. Finally, we take this to the course. If you ask an amateur how far their 7-iron goes, they will confidently declare a single number, like 135 meters. That number is a fiction. Players anchor their yardages to a single perfect strike they hit in ideal summer conditions. They ignore the reality that golf is played across varying altitudes, changing temperatures, and unpredictable winds. This is a working distance chart. Instead of a single vanity number, a serious player builds a dynamic range. Notice how 7-iron carry changes by environment. A player consults this matrix to adjust the baseline downward when facing dense, 10-degree air or low trajectory shots. This requirement for hard data applies directly to the short game too. Instead of relying on vague physical sensations, players should use a wedge clock. By mapping exact arm positions, like 7:30 to 9, to specific measured carry distances, you create a reliable, repeatable system. The short game is a matter of engineering, not art. Relying on what you feel on any given day is just uncalibrated guesswork. The dividing line in golf is clear. The amateur player guesses, hopes, and protects their ego. The skilled golfer measures, calibrates, and accepts reality. This chart of driving dispersions proves the point perfectly. Walk into a club fitting, and an amateur will inevitably choose the setup that produces their longest absolute drive, even if the misses are wild. A professional will look at this exact same data and choose the slightly shorter club that delivers a tighter, clustered pattern on their absolute worst swings. Mazzoni's work provides a manual for critical thinking, a framework to remove emotion from the athletic evaluation and to focus strictly on the results of the strike. Golf punishes emotion and rewards clarity. If you are ready to stop negotiating with your ego and start looking at the hard data of your swing, you need to read The Honest Game.